There are thousands of DOS games. Most of them are terrible. I play one selected at random with a 20-minute time limit and record it live. This is the result. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another random DOS game show. And this is Moraff's Morejongg, written by Martin Noel and Steve Moraff of Moraffware fame. And you know it's a Moraff game because of the resolution and the colours, and it has all kinds of variants of Mahjong here. The objective is to clear the screen of tiles by finding and matching tile pairs. Each screen contains 36 sets of 4 matching tiles. Thus, for each individual tile, there are 3 matching tiles at the start of a game. So you get the idea. So there's a slight variation, blah 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 blah. Tiles are stacked in various layouts, and only the exposed tiles can be removed at any given moment. A tile's only exposed if there's no tile on top of it, and there's an open space on either the right or the left. That makes sense, right? So we'll just jump into Monster Shanghai, and press left or right arrow to increase or decrease the arrangement number. And arrangement 0 means completely random. So let's go random because this is the Random DOS Game Show. And there we are. We have the brilliant Steve Moraff art style there, which is eye-wateringly good. You look at a Steve Moraff game and you're like under no illusions as to what it is. Now, I've selected the ladder, as you can see here, but I don't see any ladder. So I'll just select one of the other little guys. And there is full mouse support, which is very, very good. And it just means that you can float over things and they'll highlight if you can select them. And if their equivalent is not selectable, it won't highlight. And that makes it a little bit easier for Mahjong, you know? So there's a bunch of selectable creatures here that we can try and match up. I'll just see if I can find one. No, can't match him. Let's see, can I match him? No. Don't tell me I'm scuppered already. There we go. You match those two. And then the playing field changes, and you can see that ladder there. But obviously that's got a big ape-like thing next to it, so we'll remove that. And then, we could do the ladder, but I see another one there. And the issue that some players might have with this is that the stack itself is not, very obvious. Some players might struggle with the depth perception of this. Let's finally get rid of our ladder and get rid of a few more. And now we're flying along. Now we're cooking, as the kids would say, which is funny because the phrase "now we're cooking" is something my dad used to say. He used to say, "Now we're cooking with gas," because I think gas was a fairly new invention back then, I'm joking. My dad's not that old. Not entirely sure where that came from, that phrase. Must look it up sometime. But yeah, it's a very contemplative, slow-paced game where you just calmly match all the bits and pieces. It's a bit like concentration, but instead of a concentration tiles just being in a square, you've got this sort of mountain and various arrangements around the mountain with specific rules as to what can be matched. That's kind of cool. I've never actually played Mahjong before, so I'm sure this isn't the preferred experience of your first game of Mahjong. I suppose you're supposed to use sort of, Chinese tiles or something, rather than Moraffware images, but hey, I guess I'll break with tradition and I'll go with that. But yeah, it's one of those titles where he's been quite generous with the number of variants, and the amount of randomization means that it's infinitely playable. So it's just a case of, if you've played Dungeon of the Endless or any of the other Moraffware games, I think Moraff's Dungeons was one, I might be wrong about that feature this style of art, and you just want a Mahjong variant featuring this style of art and the same sort of Moraff high resolution stuff, then this might be for you. Or, if you're a Mahjong player and just want a completely bizarre tile set. As it stands, it's perfectly playable, as you can see me doing. Good job, Steve Moraff, and whoever it was who helped with you. And if you like me talking about random DOS games, I do it all the time. Feel free to take a look at hundreds of other videos, and if you like what you see, you can always subscribe. And if you are a bit of a Mahjong expert, your brain is the size of a galaxy, and you've become one of my members or patrons. Look at those fantastic names. There are no matching tiles that can avoid their clever fingers. Great folk. So yeah, it's another quality Moraff title. That's not that surprising, is it? Until next time.